In a dramatic escalation of the ongoing trade tensions, President Donald Trump's administration has recently implemented a series of tariffs aimed at Canada, Mexico, and China, triggering immediate retaliatory measures from these key trading partners. The tariffs, which impose a 25% levy on most imports from Canada and Mexico and additional tariffs on various Chinese goods, took effect just after midnight on March 4, 2025. This bold move has sent shockwaves through global markets, causing stocks to plummet and raising concerns over the potential for a full-blown trade war. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau responded swiftly, condemning the tariffs during a news conference in Ottawa. He emphasized that these measures would have detrimental effects on both Canadian and American families. Trudeau stated that Canada would relentlessly fight to protect its economy. And he hinted at the possibility of imposing tariffs on U.S. exports in retaliation. This is a time to hit back hard and to demonstrate that a fight with Canada will have no winners, he declared, reflecting the heightened tensions between the two nations. The immediate fallout was evident in the stock markets, with the S&P 500 opening lower and European markets also experiencing declines. Analysts noted that the escalating trade war could disrupt supply chains and increase costs for consumers and manufacturers alike. Trump defended the tariffs by suggesting that they would encourage companies to relocate their operations to the United States, a move critics argue would ultimately backfire by straining diplomatic ties and complicating international trade. China's response was equally swift, announcing its own retaliatory tariffs, including a 15% levy on imports of various U.S. agricultural products such as chicken, wheat, and corn. The Chinese Finance Ministry's announcement highlighted the significant leverage Beijing holds over U.S. agricultural markets, as China is a major importer of American farm goods. In a broader strategic move, China also took steps to blacklist several American companies, including the biotechnology firm Illumina, signaling a willingness to escalate the trade conflict. Mexico, while initially silent, indicated that it would announce its own countermeasures by Sunday if the U.S. tariffs remained in effect. President Claudia Sheinbaum characterized the U.S. actions as offensive and without basis, asserting that Mexico had been cooperating in efforts to address drug trafficking issues, a justification frequently cited by Trump for the tariffs. She emphasized the need for mutual respect and cooperation rather than confrontation, calling for unity among Mexicans in the face of economic threats. The implications of these tariffs extend beyond immediate economic pressures. Trudeau's government, facing a potential political shift with his planned resignation, is now under pressure to respond effectively to protect Canadian interests. Observers note that the situation could lead to significant changes in trade dynamics, particularly as Canada and Mexico move to bolster their domestic industries in response to U.S. tariffs. The stakes are high, as these tariffs could exacerbate inflationary pressures in the U.S. while simultaneously dampening economic growth. Notably, the tariffs have already sparked fears among investors, leading to a significant drop in airline and automotive stocks, which are particularly vulnerable given their reliance on cross-border supply chains. As the situation unfolds, many are left to ponder the broader implications of this renewed trade conflict. Trump's aggressive stance, which has marked his administration's foreign policy, continues to challenge long-standing alliances and partnerships, with both Canada and Mexico preparing to retaliate more forcefully. The potential for a protracted trade war looms large, raising questions about the future of North American trade and its impact on global markets. Looking ahead, analysts will be closely monitoring the responses from both Canada and Mexico as they formulate their countermeasures. The evolving landscape of international trade relations will undoubtedly shape economic policies and diplomatic strategies in the months to come, as countries grapple with the ramifications of an increasingly protectionist approach heralded by the Trump administration. In an intriguing intersection of psychology and physiology, recent research has unveiled a surprising connection between swearing and pain tolerance. This phenomenon has captured the attention of scientists and the general public alike, leading to a deeper understanding of how language can influence our physical experiences. A study published in the Washington Post suggests that uttering expletives may actually increase pain tolerance and enhance strength. An insight that challenges conventional perceptions of swearing as purely vulgar or inappropriate. The study, which involved a series of experiments, demonstrated that participants who swore while enduring painful stimuli reported a higher pain threshold compared to those who refrained from using profanity. This effect was attributed to the body's natural response to stress. Dr. Richard Stevens, a psychologist at Keele University and one of the study's authors, stated swearing appears to trigger a fight-or-flight response, releasing adrenaline and numbing pain, which can be incredibly beneficial in high-stress situations. The findings suggest that swearing can act as a psychological tool, allowing individuals to cope with pain more effectively. Furthermore, the implications of this research extend beyond mere anecdotal evidence. In controlled settings, participants who engaged in swearing demonstrated not only improved pain tolerance but also increased physical strength during tasks that required exertion. The study recorded a notable increase in force output among those who used swearing as a coping mechanism, reinforcing the idea that language is not just a form of communication but a powerful mental and physical enhancer. While these findings resonate with many, they also raise important questions about the contexts in which swearing is acceptable and its broader cultural implications. As Dr. Stevens noted, the social acceptability of swearing varies widely, but understanding its potential benefits could lead to a re-evaluation of how we view and use language in moments of distress. This perspective invites a dialogue about the role of language in our lives, particularly in high-stress environments like workplaces or during physical activities. As the research continues to evolve, the potential applications of swearing as a pain management strategy could have significant implications for various fields, including sports psychology, rehabilitation, and emergency medicine. Professionals in these areas might explore integrating swearing into training programs or therapeutic practices to help individuals better manage pain and enhance performance. In conclusion, the revelations from this research not only challenge preconceived notions about swearing but also pave the way for future studies that could further unravel the complexities of human language and its impact on our physical and psychological well-being. As society continues to navigate the boundaries of language, understanding the science behind swearing could lead to innovative approaches in pain management and stress relief, ultimately enriching our comprehension of the intricate connection between mind and body. In a startling turn of events, President Trump's recent tariff announcement has sent shockwaves through the financial markets, demonstrating once again how closely intertwined U.S. trade policy is with investor sentiment. On Monday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted by 650 points, marking a significant decline as Trump declared a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico. The president's assertion that there was no room left for negotiation with these key trade partners raises critical questions about the future of North American trade relations and the broader economic implications. The tariffs, which are set to take effect imminently, have drawn sharp criticism from various quarters, including some of Trump's own advisors who had been advocating for a renegotiation of the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement (USMCA) instead of imposing punitive tariffs. The administration's decision to levy these tariffs, described by some analysts as possibly the dumbest in history, targets not just adversaries but allies, potentially jeopardizing the delicate economic interconnections that exist within the North American automobile industry, where vehicles may cross borders multiple times during production. A consequential analysis from the Anderson Economic Group predicts that these tariffs could increase the cost of a full-sized SUV assembled in North America by approximately $9,000, with pickup trucks seeing a rise of about $8,000. This spike in costs raises a troubling question. How does this align with the Republican Party's purported commitment to supporting working-class voters? As the tariffs take effect, American consumers will likely bear the brunt of these added costs, leading to higher prices at grocery stores and car dealerships alike. In response to the U.S. tariffs, Canada has announced plans to impose a reciprocal 25% tariff on around $100 billion worth of U.S. imports, with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accusing Trump of acting in bad faith. Mexico is also poised to retaliate with its own set of measures. The escalating trade tensions have already rattled investors, causing a broad market retreat and prompting a flight to safer assets such as gold. The S&P 500 has now erased its year-to-date gains, slipping into negative territory, a stark indicator of the market's unease. Moreover, the U.S. has intensified its trade conflict, with China implementing an additional 10% tariff on Chinese imports, further complicating the landscape for American businesses that rely on global supply chains. In response, China has signaled its intent to retaliate, particularly against U.S. agricultural products, and has filed a complaint with the World Trade Organization, highlighting the potential for a protracted trade war. As the tariffs take effect, market analysts are closely monitoring the economic fallout. While some traders remain optimistic that these hefty tariffs may be temporary, the consensus is that the path forward is fraught with uncertainty. Economists warn that the fallout from these tariffs could stretch beyond immediate price increases, impacting consumer spending and overall economic growth. In conclusion, President Trump's decision to impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico alongside escalating tensions with China marks a pivotal moment in U.S. trade policy. The immediate market reactions reflect a broader concern about the potential for protracted trade disputes that could hinder economic recovery and growth. As these developments unfold, stakeholders will be keenly watching how the administration navigates this complex landscape and the implications it holds for American consumers and businesses alike. With the potential for further retaliatory measures looming, the coming weeks will be crucial in determining the future of U.S. trade relations and economic stability. As the conflict in Ukraine continues to escalate, a significant shift in military support from the United States is poised to reshape the battlefield landscape. Recent reports indicate that Ukraine may exhaust its remaining stock of U.S. military supplies by the summer, a development that raises critical questions about the nation's ability to sustain its defense against ongoing Russian aggression. On March 4, 2025, the Financial Times reported that the White House is suspending military aid to Ukraine, a decision underscored by a recent confrontation between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. This decision comes in the wake of Zelensky's refusal to agree to a ceasefire without stringent guarantees against future Russian incursions. After that, it will be very difficult for us, a senior Ukrainian intelligence official said, emphasizing the potential for a forced withdrawal from contested areas. The ramifications of this aid suspension are profound. Over the past 3 years, the U.S. provided Ukraine with approximately $65.9 billion in military support, encompassing a range of essential equipment and intelligence sharing services. However, as the U.S. pauses its support, European allies are struggling to scale up arms production, which raises concerns about Ukraine's defensive capabilities. The impact is generally hard to gauge because there's a fair amount of U.S. support that isn't publicly discussed, noted Michael Kaufman, a military analyst at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. At the forefront of Ukraine's military needs are the U.S.-manufactured Patriot missile systems, which Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal identified as crucial for intercepting Russian ballistic missiles. The potential shortage of interceptor missiles for these systems poses a grave risk as Russia expands its drone and missile strikes across Ukraine. Analysts warn that without adequate defense mechanisms, Ukraine could face tough decisions regarding its strategic priorities, whether to protect airfields, power plants, or munitions factories. The ongoing conflict, which has seen tens of thousands of Ukrainian troops engaged in a grueling fight along a 1,000-kilometer front line, has relied heavily on U.S. weaponry and intelligence. The HIMARS multiple rocket launchers, which have been instrumental in Ukraine's ability to conduct precision strikes against high-value Russian targets, stand out as a critical asset. "We have no real substitute for the HIMARS," said Pavlo Narozny, a Ukrainian military analyst, as reliance on U.S. support diminishes. Ukraine is accelerating efforts to bolster its domestic defense capabilities. According to Serhiy Prichila, head of one of Ukraine's largest military fundraising organizations, the country must prepare for a future where U.S. assistance is not guaranteed. "We're hugely thankful for all the help the U.S. gave to Ukraine, but we need to take care of ourselves," he stated. In parallel, the landscape of military communications is also shifting. Following the U.S. aid suspension, Eutelsat, a French satellite operator, has begun discussions with European governments to enhance satellite connectivity in Ukraine, potentially filling the gap left by Elon Musk's Starlink system. As Ukrainian forces rely on Starlink for critical communications, any disruption could have immediate consequences. Eutelsat's efforts signal a growing recognition of the importance of robust communication networks in modern warfare. Looking ahead, the combination of reduced U.S. military support and increased European engagement presents both challenges and opportunities for Ukraine. While the immediate impacts may be felt in the form of strategic withdrawals and diminished defensive capabilities, the push for self-reliance and European collaboration could lay the groundwork for a more sustainable defense posture in the long run. As the situation continues to evolve, both Ukrainian and international stakeholders will need to navigate the complexities of military support, logistical challenges, and geopolitical dynamics to ensure the ongoing defense of Ukraine against Russian aggression. In a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape, recent developments in the Middle East have underscored the region's complexities and the shifting dynamics of international relations. As tensions continue to escalate, particularly in the context of the Israel-Hamas conflict, new proposals and significant policy decisions are emerging, influencing not only the immediate parties involved but also broader global alliances. One of the most notable initiatives comes from Egypt, which has proposed a staggering $53 billion reconstruction plan for the Gaza Strip. This ambitious proposal aims to clear the rubble and rebuild the war-torn area, presenting itself as a viable alternative to previous plans, including those put forth by former U.S. President Donald Trump. Egyptian leaders are engaging Arab counterparts to gauge support for this plan, emphasizing the urgent need to stabilize the region and address the humanitarian crisis that has ensued from ongoing hostilities. The timing of this proposal comes as ceasefire negotiations remain fragile, with both sides wary of long-term commitments amidst ongoing violence. On the military front, the U.S. government has made a controversial decision to reinstate the designation of Yemen's Houthi movement as a foreign terrorist organization. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced this move, citing the Houthis' aggressive actions against commercial shipping in the strategically vital Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, especially since the onset of the Israel-Hamas conflict. The designation reinstates sanctions and penalties for those providing material support to the group, highlighting a shift in U.S. policy that had previously sought to balance humanitarian concerns with national security interests. This decision has drawn criticism, particularly in light of the dire humanitarian situation in Yemen, where millions are in need of aid. Compounding the complexity of U.S. foreign policy, the Trump administration has suspended all military aid to Ukraine, a decision that has sent shockwaves through European and NATO allies. This suspension, which includes crucial supplies such as ammunition and vehicles, follows a heated exchange between Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, during which Trump accused Zelensky of ingratitude. Ukrainian officials have expressed deep concern about the implications of this aid halt, warning that it could jeopardize thousands of lives and the integrity of their defense against Russian aggression. As the ramifications of these decisions unfold, analysts are closely monitoring the potential impacts on regional stability and international relations. The suspension of military aid to Ukraine is seen as a significant shift that could embolden Russia, while the renewed terrorist designation for the Houthis raises questions about the U.S.'s commitment to humanitarian efforts in Yemen. Meanwhile, Egypt's reconstruction proposal for Gaza could either pave the way for a more stable future or exacerbate existing divisions if not supported adequately by the international community. In conclusion, the Middle East is at a crossroads, with major players re-evaluating their strategies amidst ongoing crises. The outcomes of these recent developments will be pivotal not only for the affected regions but also for global geopolitical dynamics. As nations navigate these turbulent waters, the international community's response will be critical in shaping the future of peace and stability in the area. In a vibrant display of local pride and sporting achievement, Vic Fangio, the Dunmore native and defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, will march in this year's St. Patrick's Parade in Scranton. This announcement comes on the heels of the Eagles' recent victory in Super Bowl 59, where they triumphed over the Kansas City Chiefs with a score of 40-22, securing their status as the NFL champions for 2025. The parade set for this Saturday promises to be a festive celebration of Irish heritage, now further enriched by Fangio's participation. The news of Fangio's involvement was shared via social media by the St. Patrick's Parade Association of Lackawanna County, which expressed its excitement in a statement. "We are thrilled to announce that NEPA native and defensive coordinator of the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, Vic Fangio, will be marching in this year's parade. His presence is expected to draw even larger crowds as fans and community members come together to celebrate both the local culture and the Eagles' remarkable achievement." In preparation for the parade, Scranton's Department of Public Works is continuing a beloved tradition by painting green traffic lines along the parade route. This year marks over 35 years of this whimsical custom, which adds to the festive atmosphere of the event. The parade will commence at 11:45 a.m. following a route that winds through downtown Scranton, showcasing the area's rich Irish heritage and community spirit. In addition to Fangio's participation, the parade will also feature John Madden, a local businessman who has visited Ireland 35 times, serving as the Grand Marshal. Madden, along with other honorees, is set to kick off the celebrations with a traditional tapping of a firkin of beer at Cooper's Seafood House to raise funds for the event. The St. Patrick's Parade in Scranton is recognized as one of the largest celebrations of its kind in the United States, drawing thousands of attendees who come to enjoy the lively atmosphere and the sense of community. This year's event not only celebrates Irish culture but also highlights the accomplishments of a local hero in Fangio, whose leadership on the field has inspired many in the area. As the parade approaches, local businesses are gearing up for increased foot traffic, with many planning special promotions and events to coincide with the festivities. The community's enthusiasm is palpable, and it serves as a reminder of the unifying power of sports and tradition. Looking ahead, Fangio's participation may further solidify his standing in the community, and the Eagles' Super Bowl win could help foster a deeper connection between the team and its fans. The local pride surrounding the Eagles extends beyond just football, creating a sense of belonging and celebration that resonates throughout the region. As Scranton prepares to host its annual St. Patrick's Parade, it is clear that this event will not only honor Irish heritage but also celebrate the achievements of its own, making it a memorable occasion for all involved.